for tuning into today's live. I thought while everybody's kind of hopping onto the live, I would start by pulling some cards to see who needs to hear this message today. I think a lot of times when I stumble upon spiritual content, I'm like trying to figure out immediately if it resonates with me or not. So let's see who this is supposed to resonate with. Okay, this is supposed to resonate with people who have really big dreams but are very clearly not on a conventional path. You don't have 3D dreams, you have 5D dreams. This is also for people who have been through a recent awakening or recently had a shift where your spiritual gifts are so online that you're like, I can't ignore you, so what do you want here, right? And there's also going to be a very specific group of grid workers that are going to be drawn to this message that are here to protect the earth, but also here to anchor the light grids of the new earth. So I will absolutely talk about anchoring the light grids of the new earth in another episode, probably to come later this week or early next week. But today's episode, we're talking about if I have spiritual gifts or if I've recently gone through a big awakening, a big shift, what do I do next? And I've been there. I'm somebody who I've had spiritual gifts since I was a kid. And I could not figure out for the longest time, why do I have these gifts? What am I supposed to do with them? And then I learned about the Akashic Records. And all I knew was there was this thing called the Akashic Records. And if you could figure out how it works, you could figure out why you're gifted and what you're supposed to do with them, right? So I started working the Akashic Records and started to realize that all of my own spiritual knowledge and gifts I had used to heal myself in various ways, and now I was supposed to take that knowledge and those healing abilities and start using them for others who have been in similar situations, right? So that's how my journey started, and I started doing readings, I started doing Reiki sessions, and then I started to have clients that were like, okay, wait, I'm pretty sure I can do what you can do, I just don't maybe feel safe accessing it on my own, right? Which I totally get, which is why I personally learned the Akashic Records, because the Akashic Records is a way to channel, to astral project, to connect with spirit guides, to all the things, right? But you're doing it through a container of light as opposed to just doing it and like hoping you come into contact with positive energy, right? So whenever I started to realize all this exists in the Akashic Records, I wasn't really sure what to do with all this information. I was kind of like, okay, so originally I went into the Akashic Records because I wanted to figure out why do I have gifts and what am I supposed to do with them. But then I actually figured out that following that led me to building a business where I'm now teaching people how to access and activate those gifts for themselves. And very much today, before this live, the message coming through is that there's a lot of people right now that are going through really high level awakenings and they have no idea what to do next. They have no idea why they have gifts, and they also have no idea that those answers exist in the Akashic Records. Let me tell you what I mean. Before we incarnate into this lifetime, we as a soul choose, hey, I want to incarnate into this timeline with this soul mission and these karmic things that I wanted to clear. And we don't always know how those things are going to come to fruition, right? But we also leave ourselves breadcrumbs to be able to remember why we came here, right? And I believe the Akashic Records is the biggest breadcrumb to be able to teach you why you came here, why you have gifts, and what you're supposed to do with them. So if that's what you're looking for, I have actually 3 options for you. I do offer one-on-one readings. I only really recommend a one-on-one reading if you don't feel comfortable being able to like channel your own guides, right? If you do feel comfortable channeling your own guides, I would recommend coming to a virtual Akashic Records class where I guide you real time into your Akashic Records to meet your spirit guides, to connect with your soul purpose, to connect with what's holding you back, all of that, right? I also offer a version of that in person, and I offer a version of that that's accessible anytime, right? I have like a live course that you can access that takes you through all of that. And for me, I, at the beginning, just knew like, okay, I can access my soul purpose, but what else can I do, right? So then I started to realize, oh, I can actually go in and I can access my business as Akashic Records and say, hey, for the business A Holistic Awakening, what can I do now to support the people that are, coming in or needing something from me, right? And that's where a lot of these channel messages come from, is I tap in and say, hey, what is my collective need and how can I best support them in the journey? And if you have a spiritual business or want to have a spiritual business, those exact same abilities exist to you and for you. And those abilities really allow you to be able to give fifth dimensional guidance instead of third dimensional guidance, right? A lot of times we rely on opinions of family and friends who maybe we want their validation, but they don't have a fucking clue what we're doing or the right advice to give us, right? But in the Akashic Records, we have kind of this blueprint or plan that we left for ourselves where we can tap in and say, okay, what's next, right? And whenever you tap in, you're not going to get all the information at once, right? You're going to get the information you need for that time period, because if we got all the information at once, it would be overwhelming, right? So if you feel like I want to access this information, but I don't think I can channel or I don't feel comfortable with that yet, one-on-one reading. If you're like, I want to access this information, but I want to learn how to channel it myself, virtual class, in-person class, course, they all exist. It's up to if you want to start literally now, hop to the show notes, and you can grab it on my website if you want to sign up for a virtual class. My next virtual class is actually tomorrow at 3 p.m. So that's Thursday, July the 30th at 3 p.m. Would love to see you there. It is over Zoom and that is Eastern time. So one more little plug before I hop off. I am closing Hilton Head signups next Tuesday. So if you're new here, I'm doing a Hilton Head retreat. It is September 11th to September 14th. And what we are going to be doing is meditations and energy healing by the beach. I'm going to teach you guys how to use quantum codes to essentially kind of control, alt, delete old timelines and upload new timelines into your quantum blueprint and into your reality. And we're going to do just a ton of fun, wholesome things. We're going to make friendship bracelets on the beach and have a mermaid night. So I would love to see you there, and that you can also access in my website below. That is actually really affordable for a spiritual retreat as well. So if you're like, oh, I want to go, but I don't have $5,000, you don't need $5,000. You don't even need close to $5,000. Check it out. Would love to see you there, especially if you have felt maybe pulled or called to it in the past. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another live, and happy healing.